Okay, so welcome to part 2 of the tutorial series of making this horse art. And part 2 is going to be like adjusting your horse to the background and adjusting the background, making your horse fit into the background, that sort of thing. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to start. Let me move my mic real quick. I'm going to start by adjusting where my horse is because I don't like how he is right now. So I'm going to make him a bit smaller, put him right there, and then rotate him a little bit. Just to make him seem a bit more natural in this environment. And that looks a lot better. Okay, so our next thing we're going to be doing is adjusting our background. So we actually want to use the horse to see where the horse is. And I always like to have like a smoky kind of effect. I don't know if that makes sense. But I like let's say right here, I want that to be the light point of this photo. So I'm going to draw all of the parts that I want to be the light part. And then I'm going to put that either on overlay or soft light. Soft light looks better. I'm going to adjust it. And next I'm going to take black. Stay with me right here. It's kind of scary, but we're going to take black. And we are going to deepen the shadows. It's going to look a bit scary because it's not really adjusted right now, but stay with me, it will look okay in the end. Put that on soft light, kind of just adjust it however you want, and I think that looks about right. So I will keep kind of adjusting this, like shading and highlighting the background, and I will be right back with you. So now that you've done the enhancing of the shadows and highlighting, what you're going to want to do is I just like to take your background layer and then duplicate it. Oh wait, hold up. First, what you want to do actually is you're going to want to merge all of these layers. So this is what our background currently looks like. So you want to merge all those layers and then duplicate it. I go into filters, and then I use the anime background filter and just kind of adjust your settings based on how you would like it. It's always like different for every single art piece that you're gonna do. And then it looks really harsh right now, but what you're gonna want to do is you're going to want to lower the opacity of it. I think about right there looks good. And I think I want to make the photo just a bit more like orange in the sky area. So I'm going to airbrush it with kind of an orangey gold color, kind of like right there. That's a good color. Do over here. Just kind of enhance it. It's gonna look weird for now, but just trust me. And you're gonna want to go either to overlay, soft light, or color. I think soft light looks the best. Actually, let's go with overlay for now. Lower the opacity just a bit. And now we have a color to work with. So kind of the theme of this one is like orangey golds. Orangey golden, like sunset kind of vibes, if you understand what I'm saying. And then you're going to want to do basically like the same thing, not exactly the same thing, but kind of the same thing to your horse. So what you're going to do is you're going to duplicate it, actually, and then you're going to go all the way back, and you're going to go brightness, contrast, and you're going to go all the way brightness and no contrast, so it makes it gray. You're going to go hue, saturation, lightness, and go lightness 100, so then it makes it white. You're going to go to monocolor, and then just find the color that matches the background the most. I think that's a good match. And you're going to want to do basically the same thing. I don't like that one. So now your horse kind of matches in the background color. And now you're going to want to merge that. And then you're going to do the hoofs now to make your horse match the background. So I like to use the particle brush, and I like to zoom way in there and then just start erasing parts of the hoof. Some parts get erased more than others, just to make it look like he's actually stepping into something. You obviously don't want to erase that much of that one. Do like a little bump right there. One right there. Definitely do this one just a little bit. And now you have a horse that somewhat looks like he's walking in the sand. And our next step is going to be the shadows, because shadows are very important. Sorry, excuse me, but your shadows are very important to, let's make sure that was the right layer. Yes, it was. Your shadows are very important to make sure that it looks like your horse is actually there. So you're going to go brightness all the way down and contrast all the way up, so it's black. And then you're going to flip it and then move it. Use the perspective form one. Kind of rotate it and just make a shadow out of this. You can always move it just to make it fit how the horse is. It's not going to fit exactly, but that's fine. You can always just fix it later. Just kind of mess around with it until it's good. So I'll fix the shadow and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this trick right here that I always use. So the trick is that you can always cut off parts of the shadow that aren't really working. So like this part right here wasn't really working, so I used the lasso tool and moved it. And then what you're going to want to do is then just like draw in, fill it in where parts of the shadow are missing. So like kind of like redraw like kind of how you think it would be. Like how the shadow would look in your opinion, kind of thing. Nobody's genuinely going to notice. They're not really going to be like, your shadow doesn't look like the way that it should have been. Nobody's really going to say that, so it doesn't matter entirely all that much. But what does matter is kind of parts like this. You're really going to want to have that outline under the hoof. Because if the outline isn't under the hoof, then it's not going to look like your horse is walking there. That's a really important part of it. This looks really weird right now, but that's because it's on top, so I'm going to move the layer. Always make sure your shadow is underneath your horse. This part right here. This part right there. Do this part right here. Kind of blend it. And now your horse kind of looks like it has a shadow. And don't worry about the tail, because we'll add the shadow of the tail after we're done with the tail. So that's that. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to go to Gaussian blur. I don't know how to pronounce it, so don't come at me if I said it wrong. You're going to want to blur it out just a bit, not too much, or else it won't look like a real shadow. So you're going to want to blur it, and then just lower the opacity. And now your horse has a shadow, and now it looks a lot more like it's actually in its environment. And so this is the end of part 2, and now we'll be moving on to part 3, which is body prep, which someone asked me for. So this is your moment. This is what you've been waiting for. So, okay, I'll see you in part 3. Thank you.